You could take all of geologic time and put it on a 24-hour clock, Iceland would have been around for the last 90 seconds. This young landscape is still ruled by volcanoes and glaciers. Hi, I'm John Veman. Join me trekking in the land of fire and ice as we make our own adventure on Trailside.
Trailside is made possible in part by LL Bean, providing sporting gear and apparel for people who love the outdoors for over 80 years. And Chevy Trucks. Next time you're having fun outdoors, remember, you're not alone. And Weider Nutrition Group, makers of Tiger's Milk bars. Nutrition for your body, fuel for your sport.
1,000 years ago, the Vikings landed not far from here. And when they left, they fooled the world by naming this place Iceland. And they named the nearby slab of rock and ice Greenland. But they had a good reason for wanting to keep this place a secret. Situated just 30 miles south of the Arctic Circle and halfway across the Atlantic, Iceland is a country we can all learn something from. Among other things, it boasts the world's cleanest air and water, and that's because there's no coal, oil, or nuclear power stations in the country. They get all their electricity from hydroelectric power and all their heat from geothermal activity. This pool, called the Blue Lagoon, is heated with leftover water from a geothermal plant. And people come here to seek out the rejuvenating effects of its mineral bath. Now, at the heart of this country is an interior that's speckled with active volcanoes, moaning glaciers, and spectacular waterfalls. And for the next 6 days, we're going to be wending our way through it in what promises to be one of the world's finest treks. Joining us is Ingimundur Thor, a native Icelander. He's traversed all of Iceland's glaciers in his 10 years as a mountain guide here. He's been the director of the country's largest search and rescue team, and I'm told, plays a mean harmonica. Well, before I meet up with him, though, I'm going to take a soak. Well, I think this is where Inky said to meet him. Oh, that's this farmer over here. Let me see, how does that go? Gothendayan.
Hello.
Have you seen Ingimundur Thor anywhere?
Já, hann hér neðan. Ingi!
Já.
Það hér ferðamaður.
Já. John,
Hi, Inky.
welcome to Iceland. That means welcome to Iceland.
Oh, well, how do you say it's nice to be here in Icelandic?
Það gaman að vera hérna.
Like Kamahavera Hetna?
Yes.
Okay, I'm working on it. Now, is this an Icelandic horse?
Yes, this is an Icelandic horse with a good nature. And I guess they are best known for their fifth gate tölt.
Fifth gate, now what's that?
Tölt is when the horse is running and it's just touching the ground with 1 foot at a time. That means when you're sitting in, it's really smooth.
Oh, I like that.
Yes. Jón, ætlarðu að taka rossið?
Well, language is just one of the barriers to enjoying your travel in a foreign country. And pocket guides like those published by The Lonely Planet will get you acquainted with some of the basic phrases. In this case, Gothendayan means hello and Tuk means thank you. Other aids like this metric conversion chart are indispensable until you get acquainted with the system. You know, over here, pounds are kilograms, miles are kilometers, Fahrenheit is centigrade, and gallons are liters, and that's a lot to account for. Anything special we need to do before we head into the backcountry or think about?
Well, think about that you're going out of the civilization, and that means that we're going to be on our own.
Ah, okay. Well, how about special equipment? Do you pack anything in extra?
Well, I take my radio so we can listen to the weather forecast every day. Very important, yes.
Well, judging by all the extra clothes you're packing for a summer trip, that weather must be pretty volatile too, huh?
Well, you say summer trip, but think about that Iceland is a lonely island in the north. And here we have this low pressure area coming from the south with rain and wind, so the weather is changing all the time.
Well, how about food? Are we going to resupply along the way?
Ah, no, that's not possible. It's not possible to buy anything on the way, so we need to take everything for 6 days. And I even take something more for 2 days more. And I use dried fish, for example.
Oh, okay. These are some pretty unusual rock formations in here, huh?
Here, yes, this is lava from 1947. And actually all Iceland is made up of layers of lava, like this one.
Huh. Now what is it about this region of the world that there's so much volcanic activity?
Well, that's because, see, Iceland is situated on a ridge between two separating plates, and that is giving an opening for the lava to come out from volcanoes, like Hekla here in front of us.
Now which way are we going to go around Hekla?
Well, let's take a look at the map. I'll show you. See here. So we are here, just beside Hekla. We take this path here, go beside Grænavatn, the lake. We will traverse the lava, the ash field, and we'll go all the way to Landmannalaugar. And Landmannalaugar is the area with the colorful mountains, green, yellow, so on, and the hot springs, ephemerals. The day after Landmannalaugar, we will climb up to 1100 meters at Hrafntinnusker. And after that, we go down all the way to Þórsmörk. And Thor in Þórsmörk is one of the gods in the Viking religion. And that god is the god which formed all the landscape. And after Þórsmörk, we have to climb up again to Fimmvörðuháls here, between these two glaciers. And there we are again in 1100 meters. But after that, we'll go back and all the way down to ocean.
Now, why is it that there's glaciers right next to so much volcanic activity?
Well, these one are just the leftovers from ice age.
So this is the same sheet of ice that would have covered Minnesota, Wisconsin 10,000 years ago?
Exactly.
It's fascinating.
Yes. Well, let's go to Hekla, which is covered with snow. Over there. Look here, John. This is ash, and it's from the eruption 1991. When we will have an eruption, we will either have lava which is flowing, and that is molten rock, or this ash, and it's blown in the air.
Now, how thick can it get?
Well, and this lava field here has been filled up, so that gives 3 to 4 meters.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is it safe for us to be hiking through here?
Yes, I would say so, because we will always have some forewarning. And even though we'll have an eruption, we'll always have some time to get out of here.
Now, when was the biggest eruption?
Well, we've had 16 eruptions during the story of Iceland, but the biggest one was 1104, so big that it's buried several farms in the surrounding area.
Oh, so Hekla must have played an important part in Iceland's history, huh?
Oh yes, that was even to the point that some Europeans, they believed that Hekla was the entrance to hell.
Well, you know, they thought the world was flat, too.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, this is pretty coarse stuff. I thought lava was smooth and shiny.
Yeah, that is ruby lava when it's smooth and flat, but this is surreal lava. And when it cooled, it was full of gas and it was moving slowly. And at the same time, the surface was cooling down and it collapsed.
Boy, this is one time you're glad to have rugged hiking boots on.
Yeah, here you need leather boots with thick sole, huh?
Yeah, it would just about shred my lightweight nylon hikers.
Yeah, surely. Do you know what I heard in news 2 days ago?
No, what was that?
They were saying that the groundwater level here in the surrounding area of Hekla is dropping, which means that we can expect an eruption here within 5 years. You want some dried fish?
Yeah. If there was an eruption, what would you do?
You want some more dried fish? This is it, Landmannalaugar. Colorful mountains all around. Around because this is a caldera with the volcanoes. They have collapsed into themselves and formed a circle into a landscape. And over there you can see part of the rim because you're inside of the circle.
Now, why is this color so different from what we saw at Hekla?
That is because the basic mineral from this volcanic system here is rhyolite instead of basalt at Hekla.
Rhyolite instead of basalt.
Yes.
Well, are there any precious minerals here?
No, here are no mines with gold or silver or coal because it's much too young. But here the magma is so close to the surface that we have other special resources, hot springs.
Ooh, I like the idea of that. You know, some of the hot springs I've been in, you have to be pretty careful about because the temperature can fluctuate depending on the season. Is that the same over here?
Yeah, that's a fact here. This pool is colder in summertime because of snow melt. But it's always good to check your temperature before anyway.
I always like to put my whole arm in
Yeah, that's a good way to check it.
just to make sure it's not too hot on the bottom.
Yeah. How is it?
It's perfect.
Okay. So let's go soak.
All right. Oh, it's great to be soaking those tired muscles after that long day hike, huh?
Ah, yes. I would say it replace at least 2 hours of sleep.
You can just feel that hot water shooting up from those little jets down below there.
Yeah, that's nice if it's not too hot.
Yeah. They really got to mix up the water here because it kind of goes from cold to hot in spots. doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it's midnight and we're just getting around to setting up our tent. That's because the sun never sets when you're this far north in the summer. It just moves slowly across the horizon. Now, it may mean you have to sleep with blinders on until you get used to it, but it does have its advantages. You can leave your flashlight at home, you can even see what you're eating at dinner time, you can even finish a novel at bedtime. And best of all, you can sleep as late as you want and hike whenever the spirit moves you. Hey Ingi, what do Icelanders do during the winter when it's dark all day?
Read books, make love.
Well, how's that any different from what you do during the summer?
But then you don't read books.
Okay, here's your book for the evening.
Thank you.
Now this is a magical place in here.
You saw an elf?
No, I didn't know Iceland had elves.
Oh yes, we have. Let me tell you a story. Once upon a time, Eve was washing her children when God came for a visit. But when he came, she hadn't finished to wash all the children, so she hid some of them. But when God saw that, then he said to her, well, you hidden some of them for me, so they will always be hidden for everyone.
So I guess we're looking for some pretty old kids then, huh?
Yeah, we can say that, yeah.
You can't get there from anywhere in Iceland without crossing a stream or two. And sometimes it's a simple dance across river stones, and other times it's a bit more serious. As current and water depth grow, so too does the risk that you could lose your footing and possibly drown. And glacial-fed streams like this one are bone-chilling cold and have the added risk of hypothermia, a deadly drop in your core body temperature. So you want to approach any stream with a certain amount of caution. Now your gear is low on your priority list, so once you've waterproofed the contents of your pack, You just want to make sure you can get free of it in a hurry. And that means loosening up all your pack straps and unclipping your buckles. And since you don't want to be hiking in wet hiking boots when you get to the other side, it's a good idea to pack some extra footwear along just for fording streams. Now the next question is, where do we cross? Well, how'd the scout go, Inky?
Well, let's do it here. Seems to be the safest place for crossing.
Okay, now how do you cross these?
Well, there are a few tips for river footing. You go sideways with the current.
Yep.
Keep your feet always in touch with the bottom, and don't stare at the water because you might lose your balance. So look up at the bank on the other side.
Okay. Well, looks like we go shed some clothes, huh?
I'm afraid so, yeah. Okay, John? A little bit cold, but it's okay.
Woo! Whoa!
Yeah.
Woo! Nice and cold in here.
Do you look me here? Look on the other bank.
Okay.
Okay. There's actually finished, so this is easy part.
Hot showers are a real luxury in the backcountry. And here they're a good incentive to pitch your tent near the established campsites, which come complete with flush toilets and a caretaker. This is an emerging land and a fragile one after all, and it's a good place to practice leave no trace camping techniques. And that means staying on the designated trails, packing out what you packed in, and using a stove for your cooking. There isn't much wood around for a campfire anyway, and just finding fuel for this stove was a bit of a trick. And that's why a multi-fuel stove is the real choice for international travel. What's for dinner?
Tonight we're going to have Icelandic traditional food. And actually it is excellent for our trekking because it has been developed before refrigerating. So at that time people, they were salting and they were smoking and they were drying their foods like the dried fish, which you know already. And I'm sure you're going to like this hangikjöt smoked lamb.
Smoked lamb?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty tasty.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's not all. Here we got livrapilsa, stuffed sheep stomach.
Stuffed sheep stomach.
Yeah, well, that's going to give you some power tomorrow.
That's pretty good. I can feel the engines turning though.
Yeah. This here is black bread with smoked herring. But what I really want you to try is hákarl.
Hákarl, huh? Ooh, what is this?
Fermented shark.
Fermented shark. How long was it fermenting?
Oh, 4 or 5 months.
Whew. Tastes like it's been fermenting since the Vikings came here. This is definitely an acquired taste. Whoa.
So if you want to name it, it can be John. You should look out for trolls here, John.
Trolls? Oh, come on now. I'll give you elves, but trolls?
You don't have to worry about elves, they are good. But trolls, they are big, bad, ugly, scary. And if they get you, they might eat you.
Yo. What do you do if you come across one?
Well, you try to cross yourself, or either you hope that the sun rises at that moment.
And what'll that do?
Well, turn them into stones.
So I guess this is a troll in a former life then, huh? This formation? You can see the eyes, the nose, the mouth.
The imagination is a powerful thing, huh?
Sure is.
This here, John, is Godaland, land of the gods. And this path is going to lead us up to Fimmvörðuháls, you remember, between two glaciers.
Yeah, so there's just a little bit of climbing and then it's all downhill.
Yeah, that's it.
We're coming up on a pretty classic knife edge right here, huh?
Yeah, the rock here is so soft that it's easy for the wind, rain, and rivers to erode it. It's even so soft that you can see changes in your lifetime.
Where are we?
I took a little detour to show you these crevasses here, but we're not far from Fimmvörðuháls. You remember between two glaciers.
Oh yeah. Now, how much of Iceland is covered in glaciers?
About 12%.
12%.
Yeah. I don't know if you believe me, but some of these glaciers can get up to 1100 meters thick.
That's over a half a mile.
Yeah. And under all this mass of ice is a landscape, mountains and rivers. And the rivers are our sources for hydroelectrical power.
So what you're telling me is that we're standing on top of a huge warehouse full of energy?
That's a good word to describe it, yes.
How much longer before we get to that hut?
It's about 15 minutes.
I can hear a cup of hot chocolate calling to me.
Skógar is the name of this area here, so now they're only 5 kilometers to the ocean.
Well, what does the name Skógar mean?
Forest.
Forest?
Yeah.
I've hardly seen a tree on the whole trip. Where's it come from?
It's coming from the old story which we call saga. And there's written, Landið var skógi vaxið milli fjalls og fjöru. And that means that there are trees from the mountains to the ocean.
Oh, well, what happened to them all?
Well, that's a sad story. It was deforested and overgrazed by the settlers. The climate changed, we had eruptions. So when the trees were gone, the vegetation couldn't resist any longer to the climate and the erosion started. And it's still going on.
Are they doing anything about it?
Yeah, so now we're replanting.
All right, check out this river. It's really starting to drop now.
You haven't seen anything yet.
Well, as nice as it is to see that ocean, it's sort of sad to see the trip coming to an end.
Don't worry, an end is always a beginning for something else.
You got a point there. Well, it's been a packed 6 days, and what I've learned is that Iceland is a land of extremes where volcanoes are tucked inside glaciers, where trolls lurk in the shadows and elves play in the streams. They tell you that this is a foreign land. And just in case you forget, there's always that fermented shark. Well, travel to distant lands is always invigorating. And what you'll find, among other things, is that your outdoor skills translate where your words may not. And that people everywhere share your love of the outdoors. So I'll see you next time on another Trailside.
Available now, the complete series of Trailside illustrated guides, hiking and backpacking, bicycling, kayaking, cross-country skiing, and winter adventures. To purchase, call 1-800-TRAILSIDE, 1-800-872-4574.
In a trekking like this, it's necessary to drink up to 3 liters of water per day. And we certainly got 3 here.
Now, is this coming off of a glacier?
No, then it would be dirty, but this is clear, so it's spring water.
So it's safe to drink.
Yeah.
The home video of this program, as well as other programs in the Trailside series, is available for $19.98 plus shipping and handling by calling 1-800-TRAILSIDE, 1-800-872-4574. Trailside is brought to you in part by Chevy Trucks. Next time you're having fun outdoors, remember, you're not alone. And LL Bean, providing sporting gear and apparel for people who love the outdoors for over 80 years. And Weider Nutrition Group, makers of Tiger's Milk bars. Nutrition for your body, fuel for your sport.
Troll turns to stone, 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 troll turns to stone.